Welcome to Sim Race Oasis. Today you're going to see, I would think, a pretty close textbook race for Le Mans Ultimate. I'm going to be racing the 911 LM GT3. Actually, I'm not sure if it's that one or the GT3 in Le Mans. I don't remember. But we're going to be racing on the famous Spa-Francorchamps. However you say that. I probably said it wrong. That's alright. It's got some famous turns like Eau Rouge, Radillion. This is probably one of my favorite tracks in Le Mans Ultimate. It feels great. The speed is there. It's just really interesting. So we're gonna start from the pits, and we're gonna try to get up to speed. This first half of the race, you're gonna see the qualifying laps, and then we'll go right into the race itself. So on Spa, right after that hairpin, which is called La Source, by the way, you need to get a really good exit on that hairpin, and that'll take you up Eau Rouge into Radillion, down to Kemmel to the Kemmel Straight, and then right now you see us going through Les Combes, and then this turn here is called Malmedy. I go up the track a little bit there. I'm just kind of getting my bearings with this car, so. I've had quite a bit of practice on this course with this particular car, and it kind of bears fruit, I think, with the practice I have been doing. My current rank is basically the bottom, just starting to play Le Mans Ultimate. I'm really loving it, and the force feedback feels great. The graphics in VR are amazing. I love everything about it. Turn here is called Les Fagnes, and then we're coming down to Campus. This one here, you want to brake pretty early, turn in as quick as you can and get on the power. And then Stavelot is another turn here where you're just basically flat out if you can basically turn in correctly. And from this point on till you get to Blanchimont, you're gonna just basically go flat out. There's a lot of overtake possibilities in this area, depending on how close you are to your rival. Now with this particular car, the Porsche GT3, and this particular turn here, the back end loves to slide out, so you got to really watch that. And that actually happens during the race. You'll just have to see that when it comes up. As we're coming down to La Source, you want to brake and you want to turn in and get on the power as soon as possible. This is so important if you're racing competitively, because you don't want someone behind you or able to get draft at this point. This is another thing too that I notice in Le Mans Ultimate. Eau Rouge and Radillion is like extremely hard to get correctly. Now maybe that's just me, but it took me a lot of practice, because I would always get off tracks continuously when I was practicing. I think the reason why I love Spa so much is because it just feels really smooth when you get your braking points, and it's such an enjoyment to drive because you're driving on the limit. There's little techniques that you need to learn here and there. One thing I learned during this practice and also during the race was at Double Gouge is it's a nice, somewhat of a hard brake, and then you coast, and then you hit that inside apex, and you just floor it out. If you get that right, which I think it's hard for people to get it right, just because of the breaking point is really hard to find if you don't have a really good reference. But yeah, if you can do that right, it feels really good, and you basically will pull away from people that are behind you, because it's really hard for people to get that turn. So once again, we're coming down Corbe Paul Ferrari, and it's just flat out, if you can get that turn just right. Coming in, now I know people are going to give me hell. I accidentally left the racing line on, and you know, that's okay. This one in particular, I've raced Spa so much, I don't need the racing line, but I will use it as a tool to get better on tracks I just don't know. So, you know, if people give you a hard time, it's alright, don't worry about it. Every lap, I'm just trying to improve my lap time. You know, just like everybody else to get on pole position, but I'm trying to fix the areas that I'm really weak at. So I'm just modifying my lines, modifying my braking points, standard stuff. This whole race, I only race in VR. It's the only way I do it. I've been doing it for 10 years. Been doing it since 2014, since the original CV1. Back in the day when, you know, when you were in VR, it was basically looking through a screen door. Right now I have a IMAX Crystal Light. It's amazing. I love it. And what's really amazing about Le Mans Ultimate is that the VR is fantastic. We're at a render scale of 1.0, and this game is constantly, I mean, total car field. I mean, no, actually, I don't really have it set that way. I think at max I have 12 to 14 cars on the screen at once. You know, the game just never has any sort of hitches or stutter, stuff like that. It's kind of interesting when you race a track for so long, it becomes part of your memory. And the thing that I like about Spa, like I said before, is it's one of those things where I almost like every turn, right? There might be some other tracks where you really enjoy it, but there is one or two turns that you're like, gosh, this just really sucks. Spa, everything just kind of flows so naturally together, and it just feels good when you can, you know, get your braking lines correctly and you can hit the apexes correctly. It's just a great track. I mean, I'd love to see it in real life. That chicane is by far, it is the weak point of, so like I've tried Spa with other cars, and there we go, right there. I got to second position. Got 3 laps in, was able to get in second position. No, it's gonna start here. I edited this, it took me about 3 or 4 days to do it. Basically, it's got quite a few different camera angles. Just takes a lot of time to do edits like these. Some in-car views, some trackside. But Le Mans just looks great. So on this one in particular, there's some things I don't like about the replay system for Le Mans. One of them is that it doesn't give times, and it also doesn't show. I think it shows the people's names, but it doesn't give them their lap times. You can only really see it when we're in the car. I'm really bad at starts, like unanimously bad at starts. So you'll see that people just start pulling away right off, basically just right off the bat, right here in the beginning. But I do know that if I brake late, that I can at least stay alongside the pink car. So I brake late, I turn in, I get good exit speed, and I knew I would get higher exit speed than him. So now the point is I'm just trying to get in front. I think he basically gave it to me. He was like, I'm not fucking with this dude, he's crazy, so I'm just gonna let him go. But at that point, I had really good run through Eau Rouge and Rodillion and onto the Kemmel Straight. You can see that I'm probably up about a second, or maybe 0.7. And at this point, I'm going to start pulling away because they're battling, and I've got fresh air. So I just, in my opinion, for a first lap, if I would have gotten a really good start, this is like for me, this is a good textbook first lap run. You know, you're getting out in front, you're pushing, you're hitting all your braking points. I felt so unbelievably fast and confident because I put the training in and I put the time in and the practice, that you can just see that they're just, you know, slowly starting to fall behind. Even though the guy who was on pole had quite a bit better lap time than me. I'd have to go back and look and see what it was, but right now, all I'm doing now is just concentrating on the braking zones, not pushing the car too hard, hitting all my brake zones, hitting all the apexes, all the turn-ins, and I'll just keep pushing. That's another thing too, I think, that really sets VR apart from other ways that you can race, either single screen or triple screen. I originally came from triple screen,
like a perfect lap.
But VR is one of those ones that it just feels so good, you know. Your braking points, your turn-in spots, you're just able to, in my opinion, get those sooner. Now I think other people, you know, there's faster people who are on single screens than me. There's faster people that have triple screens than me. But for me, it's all about the immersion. Like, the whole point of sim racing is feeling like you're racing a real car, right? And so that is one thing where I think Le Mans Ultimate does such a fantastic job with the force feedback, that you feel the tire scrub, you feel the slip angle, you feel the road texture, you feel the curbs. It is phenomenal. That's just all I can say. Right here up Eau Rouge and Rodillion, I'm just, in my opinion, I'm trying to keep my steering angle as minimal as possible. I want to have a perfect run through there. And so far, I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job of just basically hitting those points. I'm turning in at the perfect spot at Eau Rouge, and I'm taking as much of the track up as possible. I mean, these are those things I'm thinking about all the time when I'm racing. I'm trying to get as much turn in as possible, and I'm trying to get on power as fast as possible, and I want to keep my mid corner speed up as possible, and I'm trying to hit the exit. I'm trying to hit that outer apex, or the outer rumble strip. Now, I'm no professional, right? And there's far better, faster people out there than me, but those are those things I'm always thinking about in the back of my mind as I'm racing. You want to keep it smooth. Yeah, keep it smooth. Don't overdrive the car. I used to overdrive so hard. And honestly, it's kind of hard to overdrive the car, I think. And I mean, you can do it. It's much easier to overdrive the car in like iRacing. But in my opinion, Le Mans Ultimate is a mixture between ACC and iRacing.
3.4.
ACC, in my opinion, is just quite a bit more arcadey. This feels, it accurately replicates what it would be like if you were racing a car, you know? As you can see, I'm still not getting the chicane down. I'm losing it a little bit. Every single time I go through there, the back end is just getting a little squirrely. I hate it. It drives me nuts. But everywhere else, I really feel confident. But here we go. We're going up Eau Rouge into Rodillion, and I think that's a perfect line. I'm able to hit it flat out, stay in 5th gear, and the sooner I can get into 6th,
Come on, baby.
Try to keep pushing.
Clean. Keep it together.
Right now, I think we're at 3.8 seconds. I know it's not an exciting race, but in my opinion, it's a textbook race of what to do right and to keep pushing, keep that lead. But, because if anything does happen, if I do lose it, maybe I'll have some time to get back on track, Now, this would be the ultimate bottom split, right? I'm just starting. My safety rating is 0. My skill is 0, but, I'm actively
Warm it
playing
up.
the game, and if I can,
No, I'm not
you
gonna
know, the game thinks at this point I should be, you know, 10th, but if I keep getting top 5 finishes, top 2 finishes, then I will definitely increase my my rating. Like I said, by no means I'm not anything special. Like I'm like a, you know, I'm just an everyday I'm just an everyday racer, right? Like, you know, like the term where you're just an everyday person, you're nothing special. I mean, that's basically it. You know, I'm about average, but you know, the point is you do it because you love it, and I don't necessarily do it to win. You know, um, I'm ultra competitive, and like in shooters, I get mad when I lose, but I don't necessarily get as mad when I'm sim racing because I think early on I realized that there's just a lot of good people that sim race, and the majority of them are better than me. So right there, that felt like a pretty good
real nice
chicane.
slowest part of the whole fucking.
We're going up to La Source. I brake about where I see the sign. I try to turn in and get on the power as fast as possible. And that I mean, I'm not sure what it is, but Le Mans just feels so good. You know, I know I'm praising the game, but like, give it a shot. It's a fantastic game, and I think the thing that kind of puts it over the edge for me is the fact that it has such good VR support. It's just really, really, really optimized. And on another note, Pimax invested $2.5 million into Le Mans Ultimate, so it can only get better from here. Another thing too is I would probably say almost about every single turn in Spa has some sort of trail braking mechanism. So, you know, you're braking hard, you're trailing off, you're turning in, and then you're getting back on power. This turn here, which is Speaker's Corner, I really kind of sucked at it at first until basically this race. I noticed that I could keep my mid corner speed up if I would just brake and then just kind of coast. And once I coasted and got close to the apex, I just give it hell and go full throttle. I actually started improving quite a bit. So every turn, just like on every circuit, always has a little bit something different. I think that's what's so fantastic about sim racing and racing in general, is that, you know, every circuit has multiple different turns, right? Every circuit has, I keep calling it a U-turn, but my brain's broken. So, but everyone's different. They're like, every single circuit has its own, every track has its own fingerprint, and they're all different. And it's just, that's what's so amazing about it, is that every experience is different. You'll never get two tracks that are the same. That's what's really cool. I do actually pull in a really good lap time. I'll have to keep an eye when it pops up. But it was I think it was like a 2:18 something. I had the best lap time of the race. It'll come up. It'll come up at some point. Lap to lap, I'm still basically focusing on not overdriving. I'm still focusing on hitting all my braking points. I'm still focusing on, I mean, that's how you have, you know, your so-called textbook. I call it you know, it's like, it's your standard. It's not, no race is perfect, but it's as close as you can get to perfect, with hitting, I mean, to my skill level. You know, you know, I was extremely ecstatic about this race. There, we just came down to Speaker's Corner. No, we're gonna hit double goosh. Like I said, brake. You do a little bit of a let off, let it coast a bit, and then you just give it hell. And at that point, you're just, you know, you're not letting off the gas pedal until you come into less fagness. And here I always try to hit that apex on the right and go up a little bit on it. It can get you a better run coming into the second half of that chicane. And Campus is really Campus is really a hard turn because it needs to set you up for stave a lot, which is also if you have to turn in at the right time to get full throttle. So now we're coming down to Corba Paul Fieri. You know, you guys are gonna give me hell. I'm saying these names wrong, but I'm not French. You know, well, it's actually in Belgium, but it's a French-speaking area. So now we're coming up to the chicane, which at some point it hasn't happened yet, but there's an incident there for me, and it could have ruined my race if I really didn't chill out and really focus. Coming down to La Source. I don't know what it is, but I feel so good with La Source. A lot of these turns I really struggled with on some other games. I don't know why, just the physics are a little bit different. Once again, I'm trying to get a perfect run out of Rouge and onto Rodillion and down the Kemmel Straight. I keep wanting to keep that gap, that delta between first and second getting larger and larger and larger. You know, crazy stuff happens in racing, and if accidents happen, at least you'll have some sort of headroom. Now, I know that won't. Now, once you get into the higher ranks, that won't be an option, right? I'm gonna have someone on my ass the whole time, and you're gonna be battling the whole time. But for this example, it ends up paying off for me in the end. I think I maybe only had 1 or 2 off tracks during this race. During previous practices, I had a crap ton. Coming down, that was Double Gouche. Coming down to Les Fagnes, braking right about the white line at the rumble strips. See, I'm trying to get over as far as possible to get a better run at the second half of Les Fagnes. For some reason on Campus, I can't ever get that car turned in, and it might be because I'm overdriving that particular corner. But if I can get on the power a little bit early, my overall top speed coming down Corbe Paul Ferrari will be higher. So those are those things that you got to think about. It's setting yourself up for success for the longest sections of the track, and that's those things that I'm always trying to do. So we're braking. We're going to be turning in, and there you go. This is it. This is the part that I was like, oh shit, I just effed up. Totally, I effed up an entire race because the weakest part that I've been practicing, you know, I messed it up. So, and this is why this was an almost textbook race for me of, you know, my level of perfection, you know, as good as I'm gonna get it. I about screwed it up. But, you know, I told myself, hey man, just calm down. You're ultimately faster. You just need not to overdrive now, because overdriving will slow you down. The pressure of the spin out is gonna slow you down. Just race. Don't think about it. Still get all your braking. I mean, I didn't really feel in this 20-minute stint that I was losing too much. I didn't think I had too much tire wear, so you can maybe feel it a little bit about 20 minutes, but it's not too bad. So I just kept at it. This back marker actually was relatively fast, but I think probably part of it was that I was stressed. I was like, oh my gosh. At this point, I'm still thinking I probably messed up in that, you know, I was overdriving at this point. I'm not gonna lie. I was stressed out. I did not want to lose. I had like an 8 or 9 second gap between first and second. But this Porsche driver in front, he wasn't slow by any means. None of these people are slow by any means. You know, definitely if you saw their qualifying times. But he does make a couple mistakes, which allows me to capitalize and get by him. But if you would look at his replay compared to mine, you would probably see that I am taking up a lot more of the track. I'm going from the apex all the way out to the rumble strip. That does matter in the end. And also your steering angle, keeping it as minimal as possible. At this point, I'm like, okay. See, you actually see me start scrubbing my tires. I actually start creating a little bit of smoke because, like I said, right there, I'm stressed. I know I don't have a gap anymore. I got 2 seconds to second place. If I make a mistake, you know it's over. And then it's 3 seconds to, let's see, what's those times? So I got 2:19, 2:20, 2:19, 2:20. So we're all relatively close to each other. So let's see. First person view. You have to turn in on Erouge and Rodillion like far sooner than you ever imagined to get it right on Le Mans Ultimate. Because when I first started practicing, I couldn't hit it. I kept running over that. I kept running over the rumble strip on Rodillion over and over and over again. And then I started saying, hell with it. I'm just going to give it all hell. I'll turn into it as sharp as I possibly can. I'm still kind of running away with it, because, in the end, ultimately, I am quite a bit faster than these guys. Not by any huge margin or anything like that, but we're at 2.3 seconds, 3.2 seconds, and then 5 seconds. First, second, third, and fourth. If I make one more mistake,
Just gotta keep it up.
it might take me 5 seconds just to get back on the track. You just gotta be careful. You just can't overdrive the car. But I think when these things do happen, it does make you a better driver. You're gonna make mistakes. You just have to stay calm and just keep pushing. Pushing for that first, whatever position you're trying to go for. Just keep pushing. I know this would probably be a little bit more exciting of a race if I was battling people, but it's, for one, it gives me practice doing voiceovers, right? And it gives me practice making videos. If anybody's watching, I appreciate you guys watching the channel. Sim racing has been such a huge hobby in my life, and it's something that makes me happy, and I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy talking to people about it. But you can see, from the point that I spun out, that Porsche, that back marker, he keeps on my ass the entire time, which is really kind of interesting. So he's not slow by any means. He's definitely keeping up. I'm not pulling away at all. I think the thing is interesting about different types of racing and different types of people who race is that the type of driving that I do, I'm actually better at following people. Because it's one of those things where you can kind of modulate your throttle and your brake when you're following somebody. And you can kind of keep up with them, and you can kind of see their lines that they're taking, and you can basically you can modify your line and make your line better than theirs. And I'm just really kind of slow when I'm racing with other people. It is what it is. I'll get better. But Le Mans Ultimate, once again, is a fantastic game. I'm not going to give up iRacing. iRacing has its place. But Le Mans Ultimate is just awesome. It's fun. I like the fact that the entire community can take advantage of the daily races. So, there might not be as many people racing in Le Mans Ultimate, but because you're not splitting all these classes of cars and all these different tracks into different, NASCAR and LMP and GT3 and Porsche Cup, you probably would never have to worry about lobbies being full or splits not being full. Unless the game completely died, but it's awesome. The game is awesome. still, I know, I just, with the Porsche, I struggle with that chicane, man. It is,
Much better.
it's hard. It's really hard to get. So, that's basically the end of the race. So let's see. We got, yeah, it comes up here and it shows my fast lap, so 218.868. That's pretty fast. So my fastest lap is about almost a second faster than second place. I wish they kind of would show. I wish they would also show maybe like your lap average, but they don't. You guys, I appreciate if you stayed for the full race, but this is, I think this is about it. You know, if you have any critiques or want to say hi, you know, message me from down below on YouTube, and I appreciate it. Peace out.